Chris Sledge Douglas welcoming you once again to the SLEDGE-A-TORIAL, but this time things are going to be a little different. It's going to be a little bit more professionally produced and not so much a video rant, though the content will certainly be ranting. I'm certainly not changing that. But it's going to be less vloggy and more produced, so hopefully you guys can get a little bit more enjoyment out of it. Today's topic, I found an interesting article in the New York Times saying that Senate today votes to curb indefinite detention. You can imagine my elation, but then of course you read the article, it doesn't say what the result of the vote is. I guess it hasn't been tallied up, but I suspect that nothing's going to change. Nothing ever changes! But at the very least, enough people have made enough of a stink about it over the past few years that they're actually looking at this. And I think a lot of it has to do, a lot of this new light put on this has a lot to do with, Senator Rand Paul and his big speech, his big actual filibuster. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not a Paul supporter, either of Rand or Ron. I really am not. There's a lot with them that I disagree with. But it did shine a light on some of these overly defensive policies, such as like drones. Drones are a big one with me. And indefinite detention, how we are holding people without charging them for an indefinite period of time. That's exactly what it is, indefinite detention. So as I said, that's good that we're looking at that now. It is very good that there's a lot of, focus on it, because for the past few years, it seems like there hasn't been. It just seemed like year after year after year, we'd keep passing this National Defense Authorization Act, which has this code in it, which has this authorization to be able to continually, indefinitely detain someone. And the language is always vague as to whether or not it pertained to just militants overseas or people in the United States, particularly American citizens. So it is certainly good that it is getting that focus that it deserves, but nothing ever changes. That's one thing I've learned, especially the past 6 years or so with this new administration, this Obama administration. Nothing ever changes. Absolutely nothing ever changes. If there are enough moneyed, interests that want to defend a certain cause, that cause is going to stay. And in this case, I think the defense industry, the security contractors that we hire to do work overseas, they have a lot of say in what goes on. And the Obama administration seems more than willing to keep it going. Well, the reason I want to bring this up is that it reminds me of something that I read in September from the very same New York Times. In September, a district court judge, U.S. district court judge, essentially blocked the authorization of these indefinite detention practices. And I just can't get out of my head the government's response to this. Some slight tinge of, liking of the Pauls previously, even though I'm not really a supporter of them. They've got a lot of bad ideas. As you can tell, my politics are pretty much all over the place. But basically, here's where it gets real simple. Recently, I've just been seeing a lot of power going back to the powerful and us having less and less say. Basically, ever since money became speech with the Citizens United case. And right now, a lot of speech is being had by those with money, and that includes the defense industry. And as long as they're able to use their money, and as long as anybody with a lot of money is able to use it as speech, we're going to be in a lot of trouble. So ladies and gentlemen, that's it for this new version of the SLEDGE-A-TORIAL. This is Chris Sledge Douglas. I hope you're able to get into it somewhat. If you agree, disagree, leave some comments down below and let me know what you think. I will respond. And if you can, in any of my videos, if you can catch some sort of Easter egg or reference to a previous production I've done, like say for example one of my old public access shows, BS or something like that, if you could find an Easter egg or some sort of reference to any of that, just let me know and we'll work out a deal. I'll get you some sort of free SLEDGE-Core merchandise. So just keep watching. This is once again Chris Sledge Douglas signing out.